Have you ever wondered what is really going on behind the scenes of BTS's magnificent stage and charming smile? All this time, we see the seven men as inseparable brothers, as one soul in seven bodies. But are they really as strong as we think they are? A recent moment made the entire ARMY question everything, opening up old wounds that may have been hidden behind their laughter. It all started with Jungkook's seemingly unremarkable live stream. The Golden Magne looked relaxed, joked with fans, and sang as usual. However, shortly before ending the broadcast, there was a different nuance in his eyes. A brief silence that made the observant fans feel that something was off. What he'll reveal later, no one can guess. A few hours after the live ended, on the Weverse platform, Jungkook suddenly shared a long story that made the entire fandom uproar. In his emotional post, Jungkook revealed how he had often felt lonely and depressed with the perfect image that he had to uphold. She told me about the long nights. She felt empty, a feeling she had been trying to hide behind her smile. Then, honestly, he touched on his relationship with Taehyung. Jungkook admits that he and Taehyung went through a time when their communication wasn't as smooth as the cameras saw. They once got into a tacit conflict about musical direction and unspoken competitive feelings, which briefly put some distance between them. Taehyung and I are not angels, Jungkook wrote. We are ordinary human beings who have also hurt each other because of ego and misunderstanding. This confession is a slap to ARMY, who have always viewed their relationship as spotless. However, in the midst of the shock, there was an unexpected emotional shock. Jungkook explains that it was precisely from that conflict that their relationship grew stronger and deeper. They learned to be honest with each other, struggle to understand, and choose to stay together through the storm. Our love now is no longer a naive love, but a love that has been tested and chosen every day, she wrote. This recognition is not about the cracking of friendships, but about how precious the bonds that have been so painstakingly repaired are. So, while it may feel like a blow at first, ARMY finally understands a more human truth. Even the strongest bonds need a struggle to stay intact. Not stopping there, Jungkook went on to unpack one of the most personal moments between himself and Taehyung. She revealed an evening early last year, right after their big concert, where they both sat for hours in the studio until dawn. It was then, in a silence filled with fatigue, that Taehyung was the first to break the ice with tears. Hyung cried and apologized for feeling distant, Jungkook wrote. And me? I could only hug her because I realized I had also made her feel alone. This admission is like reversing the narrative ARMY has held about the dynamics of their relationship, showing the fragility that is precisely the foundation of their new strength. What makes Jungkook's statement so poignant is his timing. This came at the height of both of their solo successes, when the outside world was touting the rivalry between them. It was precisely in the moment where they were supposed to be at a distance that they chose to get closer to each other. Jungkook captioned the post with a message that brought tears to ARMY's eyes. I'm telling all this because I want ARMY to know that our love is real. Not because we never conflict, but because we choose to keep loving even after a fight. Taehyung is my home, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in this world. Taehyung's reaction was no less moving. In just a matter of minutes, he replied to Jungkook's simple but meaningful post, an old photo of the two of them who are still very young, sleeping hugging each other on the training couch after a tiring day. The caption is just 3 words, "Forever, my sister." This reply, simple but full of emotion, is a clear proof of everything Jungkook said. This is not a polished script for the camera, but a sincere confession of two brothers going through the ups and downs of life together. Now, after the storm of emotions subsided, ARMY was reminded of a valuable lesson. Jungkook and Taehyung's story is not about a perfect friendship, but about a commitment that survives through imperfection. Behind the glamour and the spotlight, they are still ordinary human beings who struggle to understand and be loved. And perhaps it is precisely by showing the cracks that they once had and managed to fix that their bond looks even more beautiful and, most importantly, real. And behind all those stirring confessions, hidden a truth that may be deeper than one can imagine. What prompted Jungkook to unpack all this now, at the peak of their solo success? Apparently, this is not just a momentary emotional outburst. A close source revealed that Jungkook's decision to speak was actually discussed thoroughly with Taehyung. They chose to be transparent, as they were preparing a secret collaboration project that would shock the world, a duet album that tells the story of their friendship journey, with all its ups and downs. Imagine, two of BTS' strongest voices, once beset by anxiety and misunderstanding, now unite to create art out of their old wounds. A confirmed track titled Interlude, Shadow and Golden will be the opening track, describing the competitive dynamics and feelings of alienation they once experienced. His brutal and honest lyrics are thought to be the main reason why Jungkook feels the need to clear the air first. He didn't want the army to hear that music with the wrong perception. He wants them to understand that this is a story of growth, not an admission of failure. They teach us that sometimes the recognition we're not okay is precisely the boldest form of power. And in an era where idols are often trapped in flawless personas, their bold move may just be their most important legacy, proving that true love, be it friendship or affection towards fans, isn't afraid of messy truths.